Welcome to Week 8, Day 3 of our e-learning lessons for reading and writing. Our performance task: how can I compare and contrast two items or events in a text? I will need to use text evidence, clues from the reading, and my own knowledge to compare and contrast. So to start off with our assignments today, we're going to look at two items and we need to tell two ways that they are the same or similar and two ways that each of them are different. Let's look at what we have on the screen and on your packet. We have a photograph of an ant and we have a photograph of a lion. Let's think of a way that we can look at how are they the same. That's going to be the start of our lesson. How are they the same? The colors are almost the same. I need you to come up with two more ways or two different ways that are also the same. Now we're going to give one way that each of them are different. Remember, you have to give two ways that they're the same, two ways that they're different. This one, I know it has 6 legs. And this one, I know that it has 4 legs. So that's an easy way to tell they're different. I need you to come up with two more ways that each of these two animals are different. You can use details and pictures in a story to compare and contrast. Elements of the story, for example, you can compare and contrast characters, settings, or events. When you compare and contrast characters, look at these details: how the characters feel, how the characters look, what the characters say, and what the characters do. I will gladly read with you number 1, but you're going to have to do the answers number 1 and 2 on your own. And then you have your exit ticket that you need to complete as well. Make sure you read your directions and you follow the directions exactly like they say. If they're not completed by what the directions say, each of your questions will be marked as incorrect. Read the paragraph and then answer the item. Gabrielle's class had to do book reports. She read a book about a pirate named Lazy Pete. She started reading the book right away, taking notes as she read. Lazy Pete was always getting into trouble. He constantly forgot to do his chores, like mopping the deck and putting away the ropes. His ship was quite messy. "I don't like working," he grumbled to the captain one day. Gabrielle loved the book. When she was done, she typed up her report, made some revisions, and checked her spelling. She wanted to make sure it was perfect before she handed it in. On the first question today, in your own words, contrast Gabrielle with the character she read about Lazy Pete. So contrast means different. So in your own words, how is Gabrielle different from Lazy Pete? On number 2, Chuck and Don both turned in their book reports on time. When the teacher, Mr. King, saw Chuck's report, he smiled and nodded. But he frowned when he saw Don's report. Mr. King said, "Don, we talked about the quality of your work last time you turned in an assignment," he said. Looking at the visual feature, we see a book report that's nice and neatly done and presented probably the way the teacher wanted. And then we see another book report, ripped pages, like stuff been spilt on it and scribbled across it. They look completely different. Explain how Chuck and Don approach schoolwork differently. So in other words, how does Chuck and Don look at their schoolwork? How do they think about it? And explain what you're trying to say. Then your exit ticket for day 3. Pick any two items in your house. Show two ways that you and the two items are the same, and two ways that you and that item are different. So you can pick two things in your house. If you want to pick a pencil and a pen, that's fine. If you want to pick a tennis shoe and a flip-flop, that's fine. If you want to pick a table and a chair, that's fine. A sock, High sock, low sock, that's fine. Pick any two things in your house to compare and contrast and tell me two ways that they're the same and two ways they're different. Please take time to work on your iReady reading and your iReady math. You should have 45 minutes in each by the end of the week. Thank you for participating with Week 8, Day 3 of our e-learning lessons.